Good morning, Tri-State. I'm Tamika Artis. If you are just waking up, things are calm right now in downtown Cincinnati following a wild night filled with protests, vandalism, and looting. WCPO 9 News was live all the way until 2:30 this morning, bringing you coverage of the peaceful protest that took a violent turn just after 11 o'clock last night. Officers in riot gear faced off with demonstrators as they lashed out at government buildings and private businesses alike. WCPO 9 News has team coverage of the overnight violence. WCPO 9 News reporter Jasmine has a closer look at how the once peaceful protests wildly got out of control. And one of the big questions that the community is asking right now, how did things turn into this after a peaceful start? WCPO 9 News reporter Jasmine live downtown now with a look at the late night events that lit a powder keg of pent up frustrations. Jasmine, good morning to you.
Well, good morning, Tamika. Yeah, if you come over here to the corner of 12th and Vine, you might hear some crackling as you're walking on the sidewalk, and that's because of the amount of glass that has been damaged and broken into. I mean, just take a look at this, mostly small boutiques that I'm seeing here, but there are several businesses that I have seen have to deal with this problem of damage because of the protests from the death of George Floyd. Now, as you're looking at this, I know this looks pretty intense, I want to say, but at the same time, it started last night, Friday night. For the first 5 hours, it was pretty peaceful. I mean, from 6 at night to about 11 o'clock, I mean, you just saw people sort of cover the streets of Over-The-Rhine, go even over to the Interstate 75, where even part of it had to be shut down because of this. And that's when things started to turn a little bit violent. Businesses in Over-The-Rhine over here from the Hamilton County Justice Center. We even went over to Music Hall where we saw a little bit of damage in other public places, getting their windows shattered from the couple hundred people that have come out for these protests. And of course, these protests, if you take a look at some of the video that we had from last night, these protests came after the death of George Floyd, which was an African-American man who was killed while in police custody after an officer was caught on video kneeling on his neck for nearly 5 straight minutes. That officer has now been charged with third-degree murder and manslaughter, and his bail is set at $500,000. And still, Cincinnati Police Chief Elliot Isaac, he says he knows the feeling that everyone is having right now, but he is urging people to still remain respectful of property and others.
Everyone feel free to come out and express your right to a peaceful demonstration, but respect people's property, respect each other's physical person, make sure that everyone is safe. We are still in a pandemic. This was a large crowd of people in very close proximity, so it's very concerning.
Now, you're going to see several of these business owners come in this morning. I've seen one sort of surveying the damage and measuring things out so he knows what to do for the rest of the day, but you're going to see more of them, maybe even put some guarding up on their doors, on their windows, just to be safe, because there's going to be more protests happening later today. Now, I'm told there's going to be at least 2 that are supposed to be peaceful protests, as we know, one in Washington Park and then one at the Lincoln statue in Avondale, where people are going to be standing 6 feet apart, just in solidarity. They're going to be wearing masks and gloves, and everyone is welcome to come out for those protests. That's going to be happening later today at noon. I'm reporting live in Over-The-Rhine. Jasmine, WCPO 9 News.